Well, we don't have a budget this year, and we don't have a fiscal update, so nobody knows what a fiscal snapshot is.
Because, you know, when you start violating your standards quicker than you can lower them, then it's time to go away.
And then there's the infrastructure program, a $180 billion program. The government says it has funded over 50,000 projects, but only has a list for about 30,000. In other words, there are 20,000 mysterious missing projects with no description, no budget, no location, no nothing. They've vanished into thin air, and only the Auditor General can find them. So our second demand is that the government provide full funding to the Auditor General so that she can get to the bottom of all of this wasteful spending. And third, the government is punishing Canadians for working. While Conservatives support the Canadian Emergency Response Benefit, the CERB, we think that people on it should be rewarded when they make the courageous decision to go back to work and earn a wage. Right now, however, the government strips them of the $2,000 benefit as soon as they earn more than $1,000 a month. This is penalizing people for doing the right thing. Conservatives propose a back-to-work bonus which would allow people who are earning between $1,000 and $5,000 a month to gradually work their way off the CERB rather than being kicked off it all at once. Those are our proposals. Come clean on the size of the debt, fund the auditor, and reward rather than punish work.
Would ask that you do.
Chair, can I get in on the debate as well when you have a moment?
Yeah.
The government has been seized with this controversy and basically nothing but for the last 10 days ever since the scandal was revealed. So it should not be hard for the committee to receive that documentation, say, by early next week. But that being said, you know, in the spirit of compromise, we're obviously going to support Mr. Julian's motion regardless. A month to produce documents on something like this is an extraordinarily long time. And I think if the clerk of the Privy Council were to put out a call to all the officials who were supposedly involved in this decision, he could probably summon those documents in a couple of hours. So I do think Peter's suggestion that we would wait until early August is extremely generous. And you know, again, I would have preferred that he had suggested a shorter timeline, but given that that he has, in his judgment, come up with this data, we will accept it.
Yes, we can. Okay.
I will read off the motion that the Standing Committee on Finance, before I do, actually, I should say I made some very small changes to it to subtract a few witnesses from the list that I had included in the motion circulated. So, but other than that, the motion is the same as you all have seen, that the Standing Committee on Finance, as part of its study on COVID-19, hold hearings in July 2020 for no less than 4 meetings for a duration of 3 hours each to examine how much the government spent in awarding the $912 million sole sourced contract to We Charity, and how the outsourcing of the Canada Student Service Grant to We Charity proceeded as far as it did, that the committee produces a report on its findings to be tabled in the House of Commons, that the witnesses must include but are not limited to the following: the Clerk of the Privy Council, Ian Shugart, the Senior Assistant Deputy Minister of Skills Employment Branch of Employment and Social Development Canada. By this, I refer to the official that Mark Kielburger claims to have told him to deliver that he would deliver the $912 million Canada Student Service Grant. That the witness list include Minister of Diversity and Inclusion and Youth, Bardish Chagger, Volunteer Canada, and any witnesses that committee members submit as part of a routine planning for a committee study. That is the motion.